whether it is physically, mentally, or spiritually. When you know better, you can do better. And when you do better, you'll be better. On this podcast, we share knowledge, expertise, opinions, and experiences. All things that can help you to change the game. By the time we're done, it's hard for you not to be encouraged. So join us. The better you are, the better you are.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for supporting our program. We hope that it's encouraging and uplifting for you. Today, we are going to talk about health, nutrition, fitness, and exercise. Our guest today is uniquely qualified to talk about these topics. She is Alta Skelton, the Director of Fully Armored Family Health and Fitness in Carmel, Indiana. Alta is a board-certified family nurse practitioner with master's degrees and advanced certifications in integrative medicine and advanced cardiology. Her faith, her fascination with the knowledge of the human body, and her love for people are what motivate her to share that knowledge with others in order to help them improve their health mentally, physically, and spiritually. We're very excited to have her with us today, and we hope this is encouraging and helpful for you. So let's get started.
If you had a box, what things are you putting in your box, or have you carried in your box from childhood? You know, when you move and you pack up a whole bunch of things, and you think, oh, wow, wait a minute, I didn't need that. I've been carrying that from 2 moves ago. There are some things in our boxes that we just don't need and that weigh us down. So this guy here, you probably have seen this when they have these shows where these men they have to carry heavy things and they're rolling big tires and all. So he's carrying this heavy truck. And we've just put all of these things in there and it's weighing him down. So think about, here's some things that we might have in our box that weighs us down. Pride, past hurts, past disappointments. We have perfectionism, sickness, a disability, fear, grief, shame, guilt, addictions, bitterness. These are things that we are dragging around from each stage of our life that weighs us down. And sometimes those are pressures from the outside that have been put upon us, especially for people of color. And now we're carrying these along with us. And it affects our mindset. So one of the things that we do at Fully Armored is we do an exercise class. This exercise class is called, of all things, Transformers. You know why? Because just think about in Romans 10, where it says, I beseech you, brothers, by the mercy of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God. And it said, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So sometimes our health and the way we eat, it's a mindset. We're like, oh, but I'm used to eating fried things that were on that we were weighing us down. I'm used to eating burgers and fries and fried foods, and if it's not that, I can't eat it. So now it's about, let's change our mindset. And then some of these other things, fear, grief, shame, also weigh us down. Do you know why that's a problem? Think about this. When we empty our boxes, there's something called cortisol. And you know your adrenal glands? So your adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys and they secrete cortisol. And cortisol is that fight or flight hormone. And it tells us to either flee or freeze. Okay? So we're running from the tiger. Well, stress and all of these other things increases cortisol. And guess where cortisol builds? Right in the middle. So when we're stressed, cortisol is high, This increases in the middle, and guess what else goes up? Our blood sugar, our blood pressure. We're more prone to diabetes. So what we think about is, let's run this race and let's put off those things that easily beset us. So let's take away some of those things that weigh us down. So think about this. This is the contrast. So the top, she's got a lot of things in her boxes weighing her down. And the bottom, this person is like, you know what? I'm stripping off everything because I've got to run this race and I want to run fast. So if you see an athlete, I love to watch track and field around the time of the Olympics. You see these fast runners, they don't have much on, do they? I mean, they're not carrying weights around them. They're not carrying a backpack. They are in the minimal clothing so they can run fast. So when we weigh ourselves down, we can't run this race as we should. So, this is your box. I want you to mentally think about something. You can write it down, you can put it on your phone. I want you to think about some of those things on that other slide that you were having in your box. What things is it time for you to get rid of? What things have you been carrying with you year after year, time after time, house after house? What things are you carrying with you that are weighing you down? So, think about now, if you fill your boxes up with not so good things, we're going to put these things in the box instead. Love, forgiveness, acceptance, bravery, faith, healing, and victory. These are the things I want you to put in your box. So what have you been carrying around? You don't have to share it with me, but I want you to write it down. I want you to literally write it down. And then I want you to take your garbage can and I want you to ball it up and put it in the trash. So that way you're not going to carry that with you anymore. Okay? We're going to throw those things away because now we're going to have a new mindset. So when you empty your boxes, we're going to fill it with good things. We're going to encourage. We're going to encourage one another. We're going to be encouraged by the fact that, look, we have those things in the past. We don't have to deal with that anymore. Embolden. I want to embolden you to say that you do have the power through the grace of God to change anything in your life. Do you know that He wants us to do that? He said, yes. He's doing like this. Come on. What are you waiting for? Lay it down and then don't pick it back up. So that's emboldened when you say, yes, I can do this. And then engage. So engage with one another. So when we engage with one another, guess what? We encourage others. Next thing you know, we've changed our mindset about our lifestyle. And guess what? And then you're saying to someone, come on over. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to show you. And now they've changed their lifestyle. So we've been emboldened to help others. So I want you to say these things, 3 things with me. Yes, I can.
Yes, I can.
Yes, I will.
Yes, I will.
And then I want you to turn to your neighbor and say, yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
Love it. Yes. So, yes, we will, we can, and to our neighbor and to our friends and to our family, yes, they can as well. So, do you know if we're afraid to fail? So say we think, oh man, I could never eat like this because all I'm going to want to do is eat that sweet thing tomorrow. And guess what? You might eat that sweet thing tomorrow, and it's okay. But at least you have thought about it and you've tried, and you go, what? I got to do it again. Let me just try it all over again. If we are afraid to fail, you know, when I said flee, guess what we're going to do? Freeze. Because we're afraid to fail, so we're going to freeze and not do anything. We can't do that. So, you have put beautiful things in your boxes now, right? You thought about those beautiful things you're going to put in your boxes, encouragement, and now you're going to empty it out again. Because guess what? Satan's right around the corner. He's to just try to make us feel defeated. And he's going to say, see, you failed. So this is a matter of ongoing, continuously emptying out and filling up. One of the things I really do in the morning, and I hold this sacred, and my husband knows this too, is like, my time in the morning is me and Jesus. Because I know I have to empty out, and then I want him to fill me up. I can't even take care of my patients well unless I have asked him, Lord, give me wisdom, give me strength. It's not by my wisdom, it's by his wisdom and his might. So I have to empty out the day before, and I've got to fill it up with what he has in store for me. So it's a continuous thing, emptying out and filling up. So fill up with him in the morning. So mentally, physically, spiritually, socially, we have to clear our minds. So, has anybody ever heard of the vagus nerve? So the vagus nerve tells our body what to do, is connect it in the gut. Okay? And when we are afraid, you know how you can feel it in your gut when you're afraid? That we call that a visceral response. We can feel that fear. That's because of the sympathetic nervous system. Think of S, sympathetic. Think of P, parasympathetic. Think of stress and peace. When we are stressed, the sympathetic nervous system takes over. And now all of a sudden we can't do anything. Our blood pressure goes up, like I was saying before, our blood sugar goes up. But in the parasympathetic space, now it's peaceful. So how do you get to that parasympathetic space? Guess what you're going to do? You're going to breathe. So we're going to practice. So this is something you can do when you're stressed. You're in a stressful situation. Somebody's just told you some really bad news, or you're trying to get to sleep at night and your mind is racing and you're trying to clean out the world's problems in the middle of the night. You know how that happens? Like all of a sudden you're thinking about everything. So here's what I want you to do. Put your hand on your belly. And you're going to breathe through your nose, but your chest is not going to move. Okay, so you breathe. And then you're going to push your belly out. So fold it, and then good. I can see people's chest move. That's really good. People can practice that. So you're breathing in through your nose. Hold it. And guess what you have just done? You've just lowered your blood pressure. You've just lowered your heart rate just by breathing. So think about what happens when you're in a stressful situation. Your heart starts pounding, you start hyperventilating, but instead, now that parasympathetic nervous system takes over and the body goes, okay, now I can start thinking about what's going on here. I can start thinking about this stressful situation and how to manage it. So, breathe. Another way to do that is alternating nasal breathing. So you hold one nostril, breathe in, stick your belly out. And then parasympathetic nervous system. Studies have been done that this lowers your blood pressure and heart rate and increases your lifespan by breathing. That's it. One little thing to change. Okay? All right. Part 2. So now we talked about our old mindset. Now this is our new mindset. So when we decide we're going to have a healthy lifestyle, it changes us. It can delay aging. And I don't care what age you are. You can be young, you can be old, but it's going to change if you start eating healthy and living a holistic lifestyle. Okay? So, stay hydrated. How much water should you drink in a day? Have your body weight in ounces of water. Okay? Have your body weight in ounces of water a day is how much it takes for you to hydrate. And then exercise. We're going to talk more about that. Manage stress. And this, we talked about this on the podcast, that when you're stressed, a lot of times this is not because of your state right now, but it has been what has been put upon you because of the color of your skin. So we're going to manage that, because this isn't going to change, but God can help us change any situation. And we're going to start by doing what? Breathe. Okay? And improve sleep. How many hours of sleep should you get per night? I would like you to have at least 8 hours of sleep at night. And if you're a perimenopausal, postmenopausal woman, you know that is hard to get, but there's ways to get that too. And that breathing helps. Improve your gut. So as we do things to help ourselves decrease inflammation in our body, we increase gut health as well. Did you know that 70% of our immune system comes from our gut? 70%. So if we're sick and tired, do you know sometimes it would be because of our eating? So I tell my patients all the time, I want you to eat well, sleep well, poop well, move well. You got to be going every day, if not twice a day. And if you're not, then your body's not detoxing. So we have to learn how to detox. So eating well helps us do that. Okay. The importance of muscle strengthening. Do you all like to exercise? Good. So exercising is so important. And here's why. I want you to go out and you can get these from Dick's or Play It Again Sports. Get 5 to 10 pound weights and then start off with no weights at all. The muscle, 80% of insulin sensitivity is on the muscle. So you know around COVID when people were really sick and a lot of them were dying, you heard, it's just because they had heart problems or they had diabetes. But if you look at statistics also, they weren't in good shape muscle-wise. Here's why. So 80% of the sensitivity for insulin is on the muscle, right? So what is insulin sensitivity and what's insulin resistance? Insulin sensitivity precedes diabetes by guess how many years? 5 years. So if you can catch it here, then you don't even have to go to the diabetes part. And how are we going to catch it here? The number one way to prevent type 2 diabetes is muscle strengthening. Now, we're going to do some push-ups. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But that is a good way. Everybody looked at me like, what? That is a good way, though. You don't have to have any weights. You can start on your knees, and then you can do the push-ups. You can start on your knees and then do the military style. So, let's get back to insulin sensitivity. Here's how it works with blood sugar. You eat food, turns into sugar, then your body says, okay, go over to the pancreas and grab insulin. Insulin comes along, and now it's got to pair up with that sugar to push it into the cell. If there's too much sugar in here because you haven't spent that sugar and you have a sedentary lifestyle and that sugar is building up, that cell is insulin resistant, is resistant to let that insulin in. So if it can't bring the insulin in, it's not going to bring the sugar in. So when you check your blood sugar and it's high, that's because that sugar doesn't belong in the serum. It doesn't belong in the bloodstream. It belongs in the cell. So in order to push it into the cell, we've got to build muscle. And now the muscle sensitizes that cell to let the insulin come in. So that's why building muscle can help prevent type 2 diabetes. And of course, the more sugar and carbs, and believe me, high blood sugar is not only because of sugar. Some people will say, well, I'm vegan. That's good. There's all kinds of eating styles you can do. But does that prevent type 2 diabetes? And why? Because if you're not getting enough protein to build the muscle still doesn't allow that glucose to go into the cell. So if you do, quinoa has protein. So it's a way to get protein in, even if you don't want to eat meat. Vegetables have good amount of protein. So if you don't want to eat the meat, you still have the vegetables. But if you are building upon rice, bread, corn, potatoes, those will spike your blood sugar and now cause a lot of inflammation in the body. So we're going to build muscle. How many times should you exercise? Minimum 3 days a week. Minimum. Ideally, 5 days a week with a combination of strength training and aerobic training. And that aerobic training might be just walking. And then time yourself to say, okay, I walked around the block. Well, it took me 20 minutes to walk around. Next time, maybe it will take me 15 minutes to walk around the block. And then 12 minutes. So gradually increase. You want your heart rate to get up when you're exercising. And then you know that you're improving your health when your heart rate comes down quickly after you exercise. So muscle strength training is key. The benefits of that is, do you know that even with your brain and cardiovascular health, so everybody thinks, oh, you have to go be a runner in order to have good heart health. No, actually, you can do that, but muscle training secretes something called interleukin-2, which helps the heart muscle. So by strength training, you're also helping your heart. And then your body goes, oh, now I need food, and now you need to increase your protein amount, so those vegetables are not, increase your protein to build your muscle.
Thank you for listening in today. Weren't you inspired, encouraged, and uplifted? We hope so, because we're praying the best for you. Join us again next time for more betterment, because the better you are, the better you are.